Hey y'all, it's me, Mama King. I am the Divine Oracle. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Y'all know why we hit the notification bell, okay? I know that the notifications go out, so if you want all the notifications, hit all. If you want some of them, hit personalized, okay? Check back with me sometime. Make sure I'm still breathing. All right, so of course, we're going to end out this year with a reading from the Great Cosmic Mother. I do appreciate all the support I've been getting for you guys listening to the readings. I think this is so needed today. And it's very comforting to me. Let me see here. I was going to read, well, this is this one page here. Huh. Let's start with page 50, and I'm going to read through page 65. Yeah, because then I'm right back to where I first started. I got a lot of views on the Gynandrous Great Mother. Okay, I've already covered it. So I'm going to start with the organic religion of early women. This is a few pages, and there's one page of another section, and then a few pages of the cosmic serpent. So we'll mark this for December 31st, 2024. The organic religion of early women. The first god, or Mother Earth, the first god, Mother Earth, was a human concept or the sign of a human response to an experienced fact. The first arts and religions, the first crafts and social patterns were designed in recognition and celebration of her. But what were real human females feeling and thinking? We can only see the attributes of the great goddess as the projections of women's experiences of themselves. As we read the powerful magic signs of the Great Mother's celebration, we can read these first women's powerful discoveries and celebrations of themselves. The religious beliefs, the mysteries, and rites developed by ancient women grew organically out of women's supreme roles as cultural producers, mothers, and prime communicators with the spirit world. The mysteries of creation, transformation, and recurrence, the primal mysteries of all religions, emerged from women's direct physical and psychic experiences of these mysteries. In bleeding and growing a child, in nursing and working with fire, in making a pot and planting a seed. In pottery craft and myth alone, we can see the development of a religion. The pot was seen to have the body shape and internal womb of the mother. In Neolithic Europe, clay was said to have a woman's soul, and no man was allowed to see the female potter at work. Clay, sacred to women and the goddess, was often marked with the maze-like windings of the magic underworld, a place of transformation. Aruru, Ishtar, the cosmic creatrix of Babylon, was imaged as a potter, a divine potter, shaper of life. The making of cult vessels were like this shaping of life. And the Babylonian words for rebirth were, we are as fresh baked pots. From this, we can see the absurdity and the political co-optation of the notion of a male godfather making human beings from clay or dust. Interesting. The biblical image is stolen without shame from the earlier Sumerian and Babylonian goddess creation stories. Such a patriarchal version of creation is very recent. The facts of women's experience of life are primordial. Hmm. I don't think anyone would argue with that. I hope not. It is woman who goes through the sacred transformations in her own body and psyche. The mystery changes of menstruation, pregnancy, birth, and the production of milk. It is woman who first shaped a seed into food, earth into pottery, fire into a tool, the struggle for survival into human culture. Woman as procreator and producer creator. Women's mysteries are blood transformation mysteries. The experience of female bodily transformations magically fused with her conscious and willed transformations of matter. Matter, the mud, the mother. She transforms herself. Religious rites were combined with industry. Women's religions were organic, a unity of body and spirit, of daily life task and cosmic meaning. Among the women weavers of the matrifocal Navajo, for example, this is still so. The women experience themselves as being directly inspired by the great spider woman, the original weaver of the universe. They use no set patterns and feel no separation between art, sacred, and craft, secular, profane. The woven blankets are valued as organic expressions of the special powers of the makers. Each blanket with its inspired design has a spiritual significance and is thought of as giving power and protection to the person who wears it. In ancient textiles, a highly charged symbol language was used to communicate her story and myth. Spinning and weaving were imbued with magic powers, and inscribed spindle whorls are found in innumerable Neolithic sacrificial pits sacred to the goddess. The Greek Artemis was seen to spin the thread of life, and the three Norns of Scandinavian mythology sat spinning the web of life, destiny, fate, at the roots of the cosmic world tree. I'm not even going to pronounce this, but it's spelled Yggdrasil, and it is the name of the cosmic world tree. Okay. So the subtle energy form of the human body may be seen as a subtle energy form of cosmos, relatively miniaturized, but no less vast and totally alive. The cosmos that we know is a construction, a perception, a projection of the energy currents in our own bodily systems. Cosmic mind and body mind, cosmic mind and human mind are not essentially different or separate, nor are cosmic body and human body. Everything is interconnected in a vast webwork of cosmic being, a universal weaving, in which each individual thing or life form is a kind of energy knot or interlock in the overall vibrating pattern. The Latin root word for religion is regaligar, which means a bond. Regaligar, something like that. Religare. Reglaire, I don't know. Which means a bond, a binding back to something. Yoga, interestingly enough, means the same thing, a yoke or yoking of the individual soul to the all. William Irwin Thompson writes, The sacred is the emotional force which connects the part to the whole. The profane or the secular is that which has been broken off from or has fallen from its emotional bond to the universe. Regligare means to bind up, and the traditional task of religion has been to bind up the pieces that have been broken away from the ecstatic oneness. True religion is the original umbilical cord that binds our individual selves back to our larger universal source. That source in women's religion is the Great Mother, which is the great cosmic weaver, the divine potter, the carrier of the heavenly water jar. We participate in her substance, her nature, her processes, her play, and her work. In her are both In her are both the lower regions of the tomb, the world of the dead, and the upper regions of the celestial sky, whose stars are her eyes. Groundwater belongs to the belly womb region of the lower female. The heavenly rainwater belongs to the great breast region of the upper female. As divine water jar, she is mistress of the upper waters, the rain, and of the lower waters, the brooks, springs, and rivers flowing from the womb of the earth. The Egyptian sky and water jar goddess Nut nourishes the earth with her milky rain. In fact, our word galaxy comes from the Greek galaxias, meaning milky circle. And the Milky Way describes the thick white stream of stars pouring from her breast. As uterus, she is a vessel that breaks with childbirth, pouring forth water like a wellspring. I always said that the birth canal was the cradle of civilization. That makes sense to me. So, these are all symbols of creative life and ecstatic participation in it. The self representation of the goddess is a form of divine epiphany, and the parts of her body are not understood literally as physical organs, but as numinous centers of whole spheres of life. Her navel is the center of the earth, of us, from which the universe is nourished. By our conscious participation, as we are nourished by it. Such symbolism expresses the non dualistic poetic mind of ancient women who could experience their body as whole worlds or universes, and the universe as their own body. Ecstasy is the dance of the individual with the all. Ecstasis, and they spell it EK hyphen STASIS, ecstasis, means standing outside one's self, ecstasy. And so canceling out the conditioned mind. All life was experienced as partaking of a material, spiritual wholeness that was her. In this magic unity, ecstasy and responsibility, i.e., responsiveness, were one. And so the earliest communicators with her of her essence were ecstatic women, shamans, and seers. In their trance states, they were responsible for keeping the energy channels open and flowing between each individual, the group, and the cosmic source. They healed, balanced, and translated the life forces from one energy manifestation to another. It is significant that to this day, within almost all the patriarchal world religions, women's robes are still the official priestly garb, and male priests function as a kind of male mother to the believers. Among the Siberian tribes, male shamans have always worn ornamental and symbolic breasts on their robes. When civilized men became or become the moralistic priests of the new father god, women and pagans of both sexes remain the shaman, the witches of the ecstatic mother. The reality implicit in the universe, in each one of us, in the self at the heart of being, is her way. It is very ancient and has no time. My me is God, nor do I know myself save in her. Ecstasy is the only way through which the soul can lose itself in union with her. Some male mystics have also understood this. Martin Buber, or Martin Buber, 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 describes prenatal life as the original state of ecstatic consciousness within a sexual spiritual universe, of flowing toward each other, a bodily reciprocity. The mother's womb is a condensed experience of the cosmos. At birth, we forget this undivided world, but we never forget completely. The memory lingers as a secret image of a wish, a desire for total reintegration. And this is the real meaning of the human longing to return to the womb. Ooh. We preaching today on this Tuesday. Mm-mm-mm. Let me clear my throat. It is not at all a sign of pathology or inadequacy, nor a backward craving, but an urge to expand, to reestablish the cosmic connection. Contemporary researchers have found neurological connections between religious or trance experience and female neurological connections between religious. Okay, hold on. I got to reread that. Contemporary researchers have found neurological connections between religious or trance experience and female sexuality. In women's brains, there are unique neural links between the forebrain and the cerebellum, which allow sensations of physical pleasure to be directly integrated into the neocortex or high brain center. This is interesting. This explains why some women experience orgasms so intense that they enter religious trance or altered states of consciousness. And this ecstatic female orgasmic experience, in which the physical and the spiritual are fused and realized as one, is at the core of all mystical experiences. It explains a lot of actions that wow, I'm getting a lot of information right now. This is why, in the original religion of the Great Mother, body and mind and spirit are always integrated, because human male brains do not seem to have neurological connections, just as human male sexuality has not evolved radically beyond primate sexuality, while human females, through the shift from estrus to menstrual cycles, have evolved a non reproductive sexual capacity that functions primarily for affectional bonding. This is deep. This is so deep to me. I'm so happy to be someone who reads this for the masses. So anyway, the researchers conclude that it is women who must take the lead in further human evolution toward the integration of the conscious and the unconscious mind and to a more profound understanding of the spiritual nature of the species. What these modern researchers are now discovering is something ancient women always knew: the warring dualisms of matter versus spirit, the hostile antagonisms of sexual body versus religious truth are recent patriarchal inventions destructively forced on the world and the soul. They had no place at the beginning of things, for they are neither natural nor true. For women, at any rate, they can never be true, and that is why the first religion originated by women was a sexual spiritual religion, the celebration of cosmic ecstasy. Among these early women, though some more receptive psyches might have acted as shamanic trance channels, we can imagine no real leaders, no followers, no hierarchies, just as there are no hierarchical distinction made between ordinary daily tasks and the most exalted rituals, because we can see these women sharing experience as a kind of ecstatic rite in itself. They knew life as an ecstatic ritual and as their right to ecstasy. That's natural. Oh, this explains a lot of scriptures to me, or at least clarifies a lot of scriptures to me and why they were even in that Bible and how the truth has been used against us, even used as a weapon. The essence of women, now this is my own speaking right now, this is my own thoughts right now. The essence of women or the divine feminine energy, even if you carry it as a man, why it's so suppressed or why it's been hijacked by the male humans. Okay. So I know all y'all getting this picture in your mind too. I hope you're making some connections. But this is some deep thought here. Just from a few pages in a book. Okay, so we're gonna move over here. This one is just one, what is this? Page 55 and 56 is just about the female cosmology, the creation of the universe. And we'll mark this as December 31st, 2024. So the universe exists as sleeping darkness, unknowable, unknown, wholly immersed in deep sleep. Does she dream in sleep or only when she awakes? We know not. She sleeps. And then in her sleep, the divine self appears with passionate creative power. This is what I was explaining the other day. I don't know if you guys saw the reading. I can't even remember which one it was, but I do remember speaking about, I may not even posted it because I did erase it. Did I speak about it? Might have been on the live anyway, because these last week or so after I've taken a little break here and pulled back and just really focus on some health issues in my mind, making that connection. Um, I used to become I was restless in my sleep a lot here these past few years, but things seem to be balancing out and I seem to be getting more like it was back in the day. I get more, I don't know. It seems like problems are solved. Like even as I'm sleeping, things are taking place beyond me in the subconscious that are bringing about healing and knowledge and understanding and actually making changes in even my daily thought patterns. I feel my subconscious becoming alive or passing information to my conscious. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I can actually sense this energy, things that are unseen. I can actually see them repairing. I don't know, my psyche repairing, my feelings, everything. This is what happens as you continue to grow and ascend and become more aware of who you are. This illusion we've all been living under. So I digress as I continue. Okay, just wanted to speak about that because this is all matching up. It looks like we are the book, y'all. We are the book. Mm. So, and then in her sleep, the divine self appears with passionate creative power. She stirs, dispelling darkness. Wow. She who is subtle and full of desire, imperceptible and everywhere, now and eternal, who contains all created beings, wakes. Then the world stirs. When she slumbers tranquilly, the universe sinks into sleep. Thus, thus she, the imperishable one, who seems always perishing, always changing, alternatively, alternatively waking and sleeping, incessantly revivifies and destroys the whole of creation. I'm speaking about the divine feminine energy. Whether it's me, you, whoever is embodying this divine feminine energy, I feel like y'all know what I'm speaking of. If you're doing this work, or you will be in that realization. We all arrive at these points of knowledge and understanding at different times. That's why we continue to learn and teach and speak and share our experiences, okay? Because sometimes, even if we've been through something or learned something, we tend to forget things, okay? This human mind is finite, and the spiritual mind is infinite, always creating and destroying. So I'm just trying to make some sort of relation here and find my tribe and the resonant vibrations here, okay? I put up one of these readings and I had a male subscriber laugh about it. Like like this wasn't true. Or And I'm not talking about separating the sexes. We're talking about energies, and we are both to be of balanced masculine and feminine energies. But this is the energy of the great feminine energy, divine feminine energy. All right. She is the dark night and the black soil that holds within itself the intense powers of light, the secrets and the forces of all life. She is the mouth, the vagina, the passionate and wise source from which all comes and to which all returns. Okay? The black winged night laid a silver egg, the moon, in the womb of darkness, in the dark waters. The divine one resided in that egg during a whole year. Then she by herself alone divided into two halves, and out of these two halves she formed heaven and earth. The Most Holy One created the world like an embryo, as an embryo grows from the navel. So she began to create the world by the navel, and from there it spread, grew, multiplied in all directions. She was both seed and flower, both primordial and final. The first vibrations of the egg of the world, which unfold to the edges of the universe, are both expanding and contracting, emerging from the source and pulsing outward to disappear into a spherical vortex. The still center, which is the heart, is the axis of creation. The universal continuum perpetually unfolds, pulses outward, contracts, perpetually spinning through its own center. That's why the shadow banning and people calling me a witch and I'm a devil worshiper and a liar and a cheater and a thief and all that is bullshit. And I don't give a damn because I know the truth and I walk in this truth and I live this truth. I feel this truth. So there you go. The egg is a symbol of female creation, female generative energy. At the pole of contraction, our universe exists as an invisible point of dark light. At the pole of contraction, our universe existed as an invisible point of dark light, of compacted potentia and energy. This was the world egg. This makes complete and total sense to me. Complete and total sense. I don't have to read another word. It's like the spirit and physical matter validating any and everything that It's the opposite of what I was raised to believe and taught, and the actions that were perpetrated upon me. And these weird ass beliefs that I'm supposed to think that I'm lower than a man. These weird ass beliefs that have been projected on me to believe that all I have to give is, oh no, I don't have to give shit. Everybody has a right to come take my sexual energy and do with it what they want and leave me for dead. That's what I've been taught to believe. That's what was perpetrated up on me. And that shit is over, never to return. And I feel like it's my duty to make sure it doesn't return to my life or anyone who is associated with me. That is some evil, dark ass shit. Sexual immorality has been perpetrated on me by men and women. Do you understand? And this right here, this is why y'all in such a sad state right now. This is why that karmic energy has no power over me or anyone else who stands up in the truth and their divine feminine energy. The spiral moment or the spiral movement that creates a center and a moving, continuous whole is also that which, combined with gravitational contraction. Y'all know what this is, you mothers out there who've actually birthed a child, creates the solar system. Just think about it. And the atom. And on a larger scale, the galaxy. Galaxies seem to be created by the inward spiraling of interstellar gas and the outward spiraling of heat. You just don't even understand how many thoughts are coming together right now. Things that I've known, but this is just some sort of final validation. This all makes sense. The same vortical laws govern the movements of water, which composes nearly three-quarters of our physical bodies and three-quarters of the physical body of the earth. Water is pure, potential, an unformed matrix from which all life on earth takes its being. Water that is not a thing, but a flow, a dance. It is from the involution of the unformed, but forming waters that the egg crystallizes, takes shape by the turning in on itself of energy, of matter, of consciousness. The macrocosmic cyclic and spiraling movements are mirrored in the spiraling cycles of the human microcosm. Our waking and sleeping, our sexuality and solitude, our emotions, our wisdom, our conceptions of time itself, which moves continuously around an unmoved center. All these ideas of the original goddess were incorporated into ancient Hindu belief and are contained within modern physics and physical cosmology. Cosmology, yeah. Cosmology. Cosmogony. I'll figure out how to pronounce it later. Within later Hindu thought, the goddess Shakti Kali, we pull that cards all the time, joined with the god Shiva, dances the world into creation, masculine and feminine, continuously, orgasically, yeah, orgasically expanding and contracting together. But the spiral and later the labyrinth are everywhere and from the beginning associated with her original cosmology. All religion and cosmology in all their forms originate in the great laws of life, spiraling around the mystery center of creation. The mysteries of life, death, the mysteries of life, birth and death, violence, love and beauty out of body tearing, blood pain, comes tenderness and a whisper said, love for created being. I feel like this is why That unconditional love is between, at least experience on this earth, is between a mother and a child. I'm not saying that every mother has unconditional love for their child, because that was not true in my case. But that would be an example of unconditional love on earth. Okay? There's a love that a mother has for a child, or that natural mother, natural love. It would be natural, wouldn't it? So those who do not love their children or have unconditional love for their children, I don't know. There's so many nuances and so many free will. Okay. That's what is allowed to disrupt the universe, free will. See how much respect even the universe has for the human mind? Wow. In later Hindu mysticism, the egg is identified as as male generative energy. Let me read that again. In later Hindu mysticism, the egg is identified as male generative energy. Mm. Whenever you come upon something like this, stop and ponder if it is absurdly inorganic. Okay. Male gods brooding on the waters or laying eggs. Then you know you are in the presence of an original goddess cosmology stolen and displaced by later patriarchal scribes. So they just summed up what I was saying anyway. So in later Hindu mysticism, the egg is identified as male generative energy. So whenever you come upon something like this, stop and ponder. If it is absurdly inorganic, which male gods brooding on the waters or laying eggs, then you know you are in the presence of an original goddess cosmology stolen and displaced by later patriarchal scribes. Okay. So this is what I was going to originally read for you guys. I'm glad I went ahead and dug a little deeper. We got the cosmic serpent. This is a Pelagian creation myth, Pelasgian. In the beginning, Euronime, the goddess of all things, rose naked from chaos, but found nothing substantial for her feet to rest upon, and therefore divided the sea from the sky, dancing lonely upon its waves. She danced towards the south, and the wind set in motion behind her, deemed as something new and apart with which to begin the work of creation. Wheeling about, she caught hold of this north wind, rubbed it between her hands, and behold, the great serpent Ophion, or Opion, Ophion. Euronime, Euronime danced to warm herself wildly and more wildly until Orphine, let me say this right, Ophion, grown lustful, coiled about those divine limbs and was moved to couple with her. So she was with child. This is the story I heard as a Christian. I got off into, I don't know. I don't even know how this story, I was deep into Christian church. This is when I went back to church for the very last time after I had gained some sort of uh, courage, or I felt like I was on a break of understanding this cosmic dance. Okay. And I got a hold of some information or some sort of thought process about this Adam and Eve story, and that something wasn't quite right, that something wasn't melding right, something didn't make sense to me. And then I started getting this story about Lilith and what knowledge truly is, and the snake, what the snake represented, the serpent represented in the Bible in the garden, right? So let me just go ahead and continue. So this Pelagesian myth is much older than Greek legend. Still, it comes from the transition period when the Great Mother is no longer believed to give birth parthenogenically, without the actual male uh, phallus, because the woman contains all of this within. There is now a perception of the male part in conception. Okay. In this myth, uranime or uranine is fertilized by the north wind. The wind is the subtle body of the serpent, its movements through the air. Ultimately, though, she is still seen as the creator of male sexual energy, the generative force of the wind and the great serpent, as an emanation from herself, from her passion and her dance. Like filling your own cup, being able to replenish your own soul's energy, your own soul's intuition, you know, being able to create out of nothing. Okay? Great live snakes were everywhere, kept in the goddess's temples during the Neolithic. In wall paintings, bas reliefs, statues, she was often represented carrying snakes in her upraised arms or coiled around her. Or she was imaged as a serpent herself, with a woman's body and a snake's head. Of one Near Eastern goddess, it was said, Paghat, Paghat, Pagat, she who observes the water, who studies the dew from the drop, who knows the courses of the stars. Her heart is like a serpent. The Sumerian goddess was known as the great mother serpent of heaven, perhaps another image of the Milky Way, the great spiraling galactic arms. Everywhere in world myth and imagery, the goddess creatrix was coupled with the sacred serpent. In Egypt, she was the cobra goddess. The use of the cobra in her ceremonies and icons was so ancient that she inscribed picture of a cobra pre- that the inscribed picture of a cobra preceded the names of all goddesses and became the hieroglyphic sign of the word goddess. Isis also was pictured as a serpent goddess. Far away in Australia, the Aboriginal goddess Una, who established the earth, was pictured sometimes as three sisters with the rainbow snake held up in her arms. And this is a Venezuelan creation myth from the native Yaruros, Yaruros. Okay. At first, there was nothing. Then Puna, Puana, the snake, who came first, created the world and everything in it. Kuma, Kuma, was the first person to people the land. Everything sprang from Kuma, and everything that the Yaruas do was established by her. Yaruros. So, Australia, Venezuela, the ancient Middle East, the distribution of the goddess and her serpent is global. On South Pacific islands with no snakes, the eel is mythologized. Ancient Celtic and Teutonic goddesses were wrapped with snakes. The Chinese celebrated the dragon power, and the Aztecs and the Mayas of Mexico and Central America imaged the feathered serpent or flying snake, a form of dragon. Both the monumental Karnak, Karnak of Egypt, and the mysterious standing stone alignment called Karnak with a Carnac in Brittany are magic snake alignments. Both names mean serpent's mount. Okay. When we see this worldwide occurrence of the goddess and her serpent, and then recall the ancient African black goddess, the black witch, image with the snake in her belly, we can see the profound power as well as universally of this cosmological symbol, its range of endurance in the human mind. So I just had this thought that maybe, I mean, I'm not offended by witch or um people say I'm doing witchcraft, and to me it just lets me know that I am as powerful as my ancestors are telling me that I am. But I mean, it's just a negative connotation of it, or this air of arrogance that someone thinks that they're belittling me by calling me these names, or I just hate the fact that people are ignoring the truth. Okay. I really don't give a damn what you call me. Okay. Because I know this depends on who you answer to. But yes, I am all those things. I am a witch. I am a high priestess. I do magic on myself. I just don't manipulate people. And I don't really nosy around in other people's business. Okay. I'm just here to help. I'm not here to destroy anyone. It's just a negative connotation or the negative energy that I'm getting, the shadow banning, the ignoring. People are walking around here in their ignorance and their arrogance and their stupidity, believing that I'm someone that needs to be destroyed or put down or stomped on, when that's the opposite of what is true. And you're only bringing karma and destruction on yourself when you try to destroy the truth and knowledge of the universe from whoever it comes from. Okay. So, and we begin to see why the upstart patriarchal religions base themselves on the utter destruction of the goddess serpent, pictured by the Babylonian as primeval chaos, an image picked up later by the Hebrews and used in the biblical Genesis, where Eve, linked with her serpent, become the symbols of ontological evil. Among patriarchal Hebrews, the serpent was portrayed as Samael, Samael, the brother of the evil first woman, Lilith. Okay. When Old Testament reformers like Hezekiah went around destroying brazen serpents, serpents are very prevalent in the Bible. Cult images made of brass as pagan abominations. What they were really doing was attacking the primordial goddess religion followed by all their neighbors. The Hebrew patriarchs tried to destroy the world's original, most widespread and enduring religion by branding it as evil and by portraying the mother goddess and her magic snake lover as the source, not of all life, but of all wickedness. I know this sounds familiar to you guys. Hated and condemned by their new tribal god, Yahweh. To the degree that they were historically successful in this attempt, Western biblicized people in the Bible, written by Western folks, peoples have lost their original concept and memory of what the goddess and her serpent really meant to all people and all the time. We put all cultures in here, okay? The snake was first of all a symbol of eternal life, like the moon, since each time it shed its skin, it seemed reborn. It's represented cosmic continuity within natural change. Natural change. Spiritual continuity within the changes of material life. Gliding as it does in and out of holes and caverns in the earth, the serpent also symbolized the underground, abode of the dead who wait for rebirth. There's nothing scary or spooky about the dead, okay? They just live in another dimension. Its um, undulations symbolize the serpentine earth currents of the underground waters. The serpent path on earth was a terrestrial energy flow. The serpent path in the sky was the winding spray of stars in the galactic spiral arm or Milky Way. The connection between snakes and birds is evolutionary. Let me take a sip here. The bird species evolved directly out of the reptile species, the shining scales becoming feathers. Some snakes are born alive, but reptiles generally and many snakes lay eggs, as birds do. And the egg belongs to the goddess, the formation of the world, and of life itself. Took its beginnings from a double egg, the chromosome and its polar body? That's a question. In the midst of which a germ resided, the life embryo. Women are born with all the eggs or all the children that they can produce. They're already born with everything. Some of the most ancient Paleolithic engraved and sculpted goddess images show her as a divine water bird with a long, snaky, phallic neck and bearing the cosmic double egg in her protruding buttocks, so expressing, in the Upper Stone Age, a non physical reality through which material symbols of becoming. The mystery of earthly life has its origins in water, in oceans, deep lakes, and shallow pools, cave grottos, streams, and rivers, in the sea like pulse and the taste of blood. Before a child is born, water flows out of the ruptured womb ocean within the mother when your water breaks. The very ancient bird-clawed and horned goddess was born in the womb of the mythical waters. And that's where they say these drones are coming from, the waters. The cosmic egg was created by the cosmic horned lunar snake or laid by a mythic water bird, both bird and snake vehicles of an energy which has its source, both evolutionary and magical, in terrestrial waters. She is one, she is two, mistress of waters and of sky and air. In Egypt and Babylon and Crete, India and ancient Europe, it was believed that her abode is beyond the upper waters, beyond the meanderous labyrinths. She was ruler over the waters on earth, in the skies, and beyond the clouds, where the primordial waters flow. There's water in the air, moisture, humidity. We use a dehumidifier to bring that moisture out of the air. It turns to water. So, to represent all this, the bird and snake goddess was pictured. Her body is decorated with snake spirals, her arms and legs are snakes, her eyebrows are horned, and the magical source of life, the double egg, lies within her. Of course, twins and multiple births all come from the mother's side. Just wanted to say that. So, the goddess was also she who gives life to the dead, aided by her magic serpent who winds in and out of the earthly tomb womb. The snake, with its stylized image, the spiral, was seen as a vehicle of immortality, continuous life, and the image of spontaneous life energy, its continuous flow. The snake could shed its skin but still live, as the moon birthed herself from her own darkness, new moon, full moon. And the womb bled periodically without being wounded. Every once in a while, don't we have the red moon, blood moons? Interesting. I gotta study that too. Got my astrology book too. All were seen as miraculously interconnected transformations. To the serpent was attributed power that can move the entire cosmos, and does. The cosmic snake winds over and around the cosmic egg like a continuous flow of water, of energy. The beginning of life within the egg is caused by the orbiting of two snakes within it, their interaction causing and sustaining a tension field which becomes form. The symbolism of snake, egg, horns, fish, and doe, along with the female images of vulvas, triangles, spiraling circles, all related to water, originate in Stone Age times. Egg-shaped sculptures with a vulva engraved on them have been dated from circa 6000 BC. The horned rams and bulls of Neolithic ritual were sacrificed to the ancient bird and snake goddess. Um, Marija, Marija, Gimbutas, Gimbutas, points out that the 6th millennium BC saw centuries of drought, and from this comes an obsession with rain and water symbolisms, which is everywhere present in ritual on vessels and in ideograms of that time. The snake spiral was the basis of ornamental composition in ancient Europe. its peak expression being circa 5000 BC. So we have here some extremely ancient and mysterious connections or psychic resonances involving snakes, spirals, waters, and the tides, menstrual periods, the moon, the dead, oracular powers, psychic healing, bisexuality, the magnetic earth current, the womb, the stars, immortality, and ever renewed life. In Africa, snakes issuing from the nostrils indicated clairvoyant powers, doubtless related to the third eye. The pineal gland behind the nose and the snake hair of Medusa had the same significance. One legged, let's see, not one legged, one legendary historic Medusa was an Amazonian queen in the region of present day Morocco, Algeria, North Africa. According to the Merlin stone, snake venom injected into people who have previously been immunized against it has highly hallucinogenic qualities. Some venom is chemically similar to mescaline pyote, P-E-Y-O-T-E, pyote, or the siliconium, the PSILOCYBIN of mushrooms. Okay. Reported effects were clairvoyance, extraordinary mental powers, enhanced creativity, prophetic visions, and illumination about the primal process of existence. As Stone remarks, the sacred snakes kept at the goddess's oracular shrines were perhaps not merely the symbols, but actually the instruments through which the experiences of divine revelation were reached. And as the Egyptian cobra goddess was also known as a lady of spells, we can be sure the ancient woman or the ancient women's shamans worldwide were aware of this property of snake venom, and that this was one of the recognized meanings of the snake symbols and images inscribed everywhere. So, Rudolf Steiner, a founder of anthroposophy, ANTHROPOSOPHY, that's some study of the yeah, spoke of the innate clairvoyant power of ancient humanity, a power lost by modern man, who is now unaware of his primordial connection with universal life and its magic energies. Reduced to a mere mechanism, a physical recording apparatus, he lives in a void of utter loneliness and alienation. For it is precisely the astral lunar region, the psychic world of supercentral perception, called by occultists the astral serpent, which patriarchy tells us to destroy, to overcome in the name of an abstract, static, asexual, hyper hyper rational and mechanistic system. Okay. Finally, the snake came to symbolize the phallus, male sexual energy, which was understood to be originally contained inside the goddess, born from her and returning to her again when at the end of each world cycle, expansion, contraction, she curls up in dark sleep. Though Upper Paleolithic images of copulation between women and men occur, icons and lithic images of copulation between men and women occur. I'm sorry, I didn't read that. Okay. Though Upper Paleolithic images of copulation between women and men occur, icons and myths of the Great Mother do not show her actually mated with a human son lover until Middle Neolithic times, circa 5500 BC. At this time, and especially after the peak period of Kata there seems to have begun a divorce of male attributes from the mother, and quite a phallic obsession developed, shown in representation of phallic cups, standing phallic stones, and ithyphallic gods, though pictures of shamans in trance um, with huge erections go far back into the Upper Paleolithic. But these are not aggressive or misogynistic phallic images. Rather, they seem to represent the phallus serving the goddess, women, and the life processes of all. This is really shown in the tradition of goddess phallus stones, with a goddess figure carved on phallic shaped bones or rocks. This phallic form of the goddess is found continuously from the Paleolithic through the Neolithic into the Proto Urban period in Mesopotamia. Margia Gimbutas sees these goddess phallus icons, deriving from the Old Stone Age as suggesting the androgynous nature of the Great Mother. Is that what? Yeah. This is so. They also suggest a potential unity of the sexes in mutual love service before their disastrous splitting apart by patriarchal misogyny and puritanical sex codes. At any rate, from the period of patriarchal cosmological text, circa 4000 to 3000 BC, the serpent comes down to us as a narrowed and pejorative symbol of male sexuality or immoral sex and of evil. The Egyptians believed that from the union of chaos and the wind, the life breath, the all goddess dancing with her own breath, came forth Mayat in the form of an egg. Mayat was the Egyptian word for both mother and matter. It was the primordial mud of the Nile from which the life grew. It also meant truth and justice and was often symbolized both as a feather and a vulture. The feather weighed in the balance scales against the soul at death. The vulture mother who swoops down to pick the dead bones clean for rebirth. Whew. Let's see. Oh, that was one sentence. Oh. The feather weighed in the balance scales against the soul at death, and the vulture mother who swoops down to pick the dead bones clean for rebirth. Mayat, as the ultimate truth, contained within herself the potential existence and non existence of all things, all polarities. She was also pure nothingness, having no identifiable characteristics, but the eternal potential and potential of everything. Another symbol for this same complex of ideas is the Ouroboros, the serpent curled with its tail in its mouth, forming the perfect circle or female O or zero, the cycle of all and of nothing, the continuous eternal wisdom cycle of all coming from nothing and returning to nothing again, the hallucinated dream circle of sleep, waking, and sleep. And who can say which is a dream and which is not? I thank you for liking, subscribing. Please don't forget to hit that notification bell. Share this reading. I appreciate y'all. Happy New Year. See you later. Bye.